Have you ever wondered what the real secret is to totally transforming your life? What if it wasn't some huge dramatic overhaul, but something much, much smaller? Today, we are unpacking James Clear's game-changing book, Atomic Habits, to see how the tiniest actions can lead to, well, the most remarkable results.
Let's just kick things off with this quote because it's pretty much the core of everything we're talking about. Think about that for a second. Success isn't about that one heroic moment. Nope, it's about the small things you do day in and day out consistently. Hello to all viewers of my channel. Okay, so with that big idea in mind, let's jump into the game plan for this explainer. Here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the surprising math behind getting just 1% better. Then we'll dive into why you should forget goals and focus on systems, how to change your actual identity, and finally, we'll get the practical step-by-step playbook for building habits that stick. All right, first up, the power of 1%. I know, it sounds almost too small to even matter, right? How can one tiny percent possibly make a real difference? Well, as you're about to see, it's probably the most powerful force for change you can possibly imagine. So check out this incredible real-world story. Back in 2003, the British cycling team was, well, they were pretty average. But then they hired Dave Brailsford, who brought in this wild new strategy he called the aggregation of marginal gains. Basically, they aimed to improve every little thing by just 1%. And I mean everything. They got better bike seats, used alcohol on the tires for a better grip. They even hired a surgeon to teach the athletes the right way to wash their hands to avoid getting sick. And the results? They were just insane. They went on to dominate the sport, winning 5 Tour de France titles in 6 years. And here's the mind-blowing math behind why that works. If you improve by just 1% every single day for a year, you don't end up 365% better. No, because of the power of compounding, you end up almost 38 times better than when you started. It's a massive exponential curve. But, and this is a huge but, this whole thing is a double-edged sword. That same compounding magic works in reverse. Those tiny, harmless-seeming bad habits, they compound too, until you're left with basically zero. So those small choices you make every day, they are literally shaping your destiny. So if this is so powerful, why does it so often feel like we're just spinning our wheels and not making any progress? Well, it's because of something James Clear calls the plateau of latent potential. The best analogy is an ice cube. Imagine it's 28 degrees. You raise it to 29, 30, 31, and nothing looks different. It's still a block of ice. But all that work is building up, and at 32 degrees, bam, you get a massive change. Your effort is never wasted. It's just being stored. And that idea that the big results are often delayed, it leads to this huge shift in how we should approach things. If you only focus on the final goal, you're just going to get frustrated. The real key is to fall in love with the process itself. So what's the difference, really? Well, think of it this way. A goal is the result you want, like winning a championship. A system is the process that gets you there, what the team does at practice every single day. Goals are great for setting a direction, but it's the systems that actually get you there. And this line from the book just says it all. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. I mean, think about it. Winners and losers in any field often have the exact same goals. The person who wins isn't the one who wanted it more, they're the one who had a better system. Okay, so if systems are so important, what's the secret to building a system that actually sticks? Well, this is where we get to the deepest, most powerful idea in the whole book. You have to build a system around who you want to become. Clear breaks it down into these 3 layers. On the outside, you've got outcomes. That's what you get. The next layer in is your process. That's what you do. But right at the very core, that's your identity. It's what you believe about yourself. Most of us try to change from the outside in, but real, lasting change works from the inside out. And this example just nails it. Imagine 2 people trying to quit smoking. Someone offers them a cigarette. The first person says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." See? Their identity is still a smoker who is trying to change. The second person says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." Whoa! The behavior follows the identity. It's a subtle shift in language, but it's a massive shift in mindset. So how do you actually do this? It's really a simple 2-step process. First, just decide what type of person you want to be. Then you start proving it to yourself with small wins. Every time you do a workout, you're casting a vote for, "I am a healthy person." Each tiny action is like a piece of evidence, building a case for your new identity.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the why, the big picture. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty how. How does a habit actually form inside our brain? Well, it all boils down to a simple, four-step feedback loop that runs on autopilot.
Every single habit you have, good or bad, follows this exact pattern. It starts with a cue, which is just a trigger. That cue creates a craving, a motivation to act. The craving leads to a response, which is the habit itself. And finally, that response delivers a reward, which teaches your brain, hey, that was good, let's do it again.
Let's make this super real. Your phone buzzes on the table. That's the cue. You suddenly get a craving to know who messaged you. Your response is to pick it up and check. The reward? Your curiosity is satisfied. Or how about this? You wake up. Cue. You crave feeling alert. Craving. You drink coffee. Response. You feel alert. Reward. Once you see this loop, you'll start seeing it absolutely everywhere.
So here's the really cool part. If all our habits are built on this four-step loop, that means we have 4 different levers we can pull to either build good habits or break bad ones. And that's exactly what this is, the ultimate toolkit for change. If you want to build a good habit, here's the formula. For step 1, the cue, you make it obvious. For the craving, make it attractive. For the response, make it easy. And for the reward, make it satisfying. That's it. It's a simple checklist for engineering good habits in your life. And what's so beautiful about this framework is that to break a bad habit, you don't need to learn anything new. You just flip the script. You do the exact opposite. You make the cue invisible. You make the craving unattractive, you make the response difficult, and you make the reward unsatisfying. It's a perfectly symmetrical system. And that brings us all the way back to the beginning. The goal isn't just to do more things, it's to become someone new. Every tiny habit is a vote for the type of person you want to be. So really, the only question left to ask yourself is, who do you want to become?
If you found this useful, please subscribe to the channel and give this a like. And of course, let me know what topics you'd like to see covered in the comments below. Thanks for watching.